What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another crypto market update. Today's video, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, going in depth on some price targets, overall market structure, maybe look at some total three, maybe some just overall total market cap, especially with the FOMC meeting today. So, if you like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more, leave a comment where you're tuning in from. I really appreciate it. So, what you're looking at here is Bitcoin on the weekly. I don't know why. Sometimes when I go in and out of charts, my trend lines get really messed up. So I had to redo my trend lines. I just added the Fibonacci extension sequence onto here. And so what we got is, I had a sub ask, easy asked what the price target is for Bitcoin, and I'm not a this isn't a channel to give you exact price targets. I like to give ranges just because I don't know how price is going to interact with certain resistance levels. First and foremost, right, it's just we got to get back above this 1618 of the overall Fibonacci extension, right? But target wise, right, it was from the 140s, so about this 2 extension, all the way up to the 2272 extension, so through here, somewhere up through here. Right, and the longer we go sideways, the higher the price can go. Okay, so if we just go straight up, which we won't, we could, but I don't think so. I do think we're going to interact with this trend line one more time, and when we do, I do think that will be the Bitcoin top. Depending, right? If we get through and break above like this, and then do something like that, then that's a different story, right? That's a different story. You have to reevaluate everything. But overall, that's what I do think. Some version of like an extended fifth, right? Because overall, right, you have like a 1, 2, you have like your 3, you have your 4, and you have your 5, right? And then you have your second wave move down, right? So you got a 1, 2. So now you have a 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5, right? For your third wave. Kind of want to just, you got a big drawdown in your fourth wave. Okay, and you're in your fifth wave right now, right? You're in your fifth wave. I don't clearly see a 1, 2 in here, but if we're assuming that's the 1, 2, this is coming up for a 3. This really could be your 1, 2 could be right there. Theoretically, it could, but we'll just use somewhere down here. 3. We're in a fourth wave move, and we got to go get a fifth. All right, because this is pretty similar to what was happening in February through April, like something through here. I know we haven't interacted with the 50, and that's been a common area for people to think, okay, we're going down to 100,000, and I don't see anything wrong with that. The 1272 is at 99,000, but we have been bouncing in between this 1414 and this 1618, just bouncing in between here, right? So either way, right? We have a lot of time both horizontally and vertically to go. So the more horizontal we go, the higher we go vertical. So either way, I think it's a win-win. I don't think, all right, you're not just gonna break down from the middle of the chart. You're gonna break down from when you reject up through here, and then you're gonna break down, something like that, right? Could we interact at the base of the chart? Right, that would be pretty intense, right? Coming back down to what, 90 or 85,000. You'd still be above the 100-week EMA, but losing that 50, that's because then you run the risk of coming up, rejecting, and then being totally over. So the fact that Bitcoin is, trying to hold the 20-week EMA is really healthy. Once we lost it in, let me just get rid of all this chicken scratch. Once Bitcoin lost it in April, when did we lose it? Actually closed below it. Closed below it in March, right? You were close to finding your low, but you didn't, but you still had lower lows to go. Right, and that's when everyone was very, very nervous, Very nervous because this is when you run the risk of coming up, rejecting, and then coming down, right? So as of right now, Bitcoin is sitting, I think it's right below. Yeah, it's 111.53. It's 111.500, right? It is not, it's right on there. So it's playing the game. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's scaring people and making people doubt. Right. This whole RSI since December of last year pretty much ends, and the interaction point from the bottom from the bear market lows ends in December. Ends. I mean, it's becoming crunch time at this point where, right, crypto really can't be going sideways for months or weeks. It just can't. It has to either go up or down, right? Market makers have done a beautiful job of having crypto go sideways. I mean, this is completely sideways. Where we were at 111, we were at 111 in May, right? In May, on May 22nd, Bitcoin was at 111,722 in May, right? We're in pretty much in November, right? We're pretty much in November. So for 160 days, Bitcoin has been going sideways, right? If you bought in May, if you bought right here in May, you'd be at the same exact point if you did not sell. So, yeah, Bitcoin has been frustrating people for sure. Really frustrating people. I mean, crypto has in general. We all know that, right? We were talking yesterday about a possible move not being completed, but we do have a 1, 2, right? We got a 3. Are we working on a 4 and then possibly going to get a 5th? That would be ideal, right? That would be ideal. We were trying to find some support at the 618 right here. It's at 11,672. We're slightly below that, but right, targets for this next move. I mean, the price targets of 100, I think it was 140 to 160. Can't even. I mean, if you can't even get above this area, then there's no point, right? So the 127, 134 area, right? I just think, I think the next move is going to be, I think it's possibly going to be the last move for Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are saying Q2 of 2026. I don't know. I don't know about that. I just would hate to mislead people and then, you're holding on for the next couple years. And so just based on everything and what Bitcoin is and where it's, and the overall structure of it, right? It's in an overall bearish pattern, right? Overall, this is, right, it's been bullish, right? It has been bullish, but at some point it's going to have to come down and correct. Where to? Maybe previous all-time highs, 64, 65,000, something like that, right? Come down, right? It's at that 786 of the overall market, right? So you come all the way back down like this, maybe do your 618, okay? And then you can restart and go again. But right now it's kind of just grinding up. There hasn't been a flash since, I mean, this was your flash. This was that third wave was your flash right through here, November, December. You had actually large candles. The rest have been pretty, and this is on the weekly chart. The rest has been pretty grindy. It's not, I mean, right through here too, right? February 2024. So 2024 was pretty much it was the move, right? 2024 has been the move. And since then, it's kind of just been a little bit up and then sideways, right? And so, yeah, as of right now, that's what I'm thinking. On the daily, right? We got marks on, you got a red dot on the Fu Manchu. Not ideal. Not ideal, but I mean, you got 3 red days in a row, right? It would have been ideal for the Fu Manchu to have a red dot right there, right? That's why once we start getting into areas where we're looking to profit take, or what I'm going to do is, right, when the stochastic starts to come up through here, I'm going to start looking at, the 8, the 12 hour, look for bearish divergence, look for weakness. Where are we on the chart? Are we at a point of resistance? Are we at a point where people are looking to take profits because, like I've said before, right, the Fu Manchu is great. It's just like the MACD though. It's a laggard indicator, right? It's a laggard indicator. But what we can see, what I do like is that, right, we're selling off in RSI, or sorry, in the stochastic and the RSI, but the price really hasn't gone that much. I mean, we're at a 111. The wicks, let's not worry too much about the wicks. Let's just worry about the closes because the wicks have been. I mean, I don't use leverage. I don't advise leverage, but market makers right now are just clearing out leverage, both to the upside and to the downside. But closing wise, right, this closed at 114, 114. This closed at 112. If we can close at 111 above the 618, it's a $3,000 gap on a $100,000+ asset. It looks like it's just gearing up. It looks like it's gearing up for something, right? So we got the momentum right here, right? Let's not lose momentum. Let's not get a lower low, right? And let's get a higher high, something like that. It'll be key to see how Bitcoin interacts with the moving average on the RSI, for sure. And so, like again, right? Captured a fake out, little fake out, right? People getting excited for FOMC. We'll see what happens with that. I know that the U.S. just signed a trade deal with South Korea. They signed one with Japan, so they're in Asia right now. They're doing like going around making deals. I think today is China or tomorrow is China. So FOMC with the China pairing, I think PPI comes out tomorrow. I've been saying next week. I just think a lot of the good news is going to be, sold off. I know there's not a lot to sell off. I know it, but or to short. People are just going to go short on good news. That's the way the crypto market has been going, right? There's not a lot of sustained optimism to the upside, right? A lot of people just get in, get out. People are afraid of crypto. But overall, the structure is still nice, right? The structure is still really nice. I do want to start looking at where we can go from here because we did pass through this 618. There was a part of me that was saying, what was it? It was a 618. It was a 618 just below the trend line, or even coming down through here, interacting with this trend line. Because I was talking about it, how we did that over, where did we do that? Through here. How you bounced off of it, and then you came down for the lower trend line. I don't think we take out these lows. I think we're gonna scare a bunch of people. In worst case scenario, you go down to the 50-week EMA, but let's see what we're going with overall, right? So we're down below the 618. I can get this again. I just need to see it clearly. So got a 1, 2, a 3. Let's see where this is going. Okay. And then through here. Pretty weak B wave. A pretty strong wick though, I won't lie. Up to that 116. You got through the 786, so it's pretty strong. These are, so for those that don't know, these are your two major areas of resistance, right? So the 786 is the major resistance, and the 886 is kind of like cleanup duty. So if most of your steam is taken out at the 786, you typically reject at the 886. If it's not a strong move at all, I mean, you get rejected hard at the 786. There we go with that. And so let's see what we did with this. Down through here. Okay. So if you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're looking for a fifth, I mean, your 1618 is at 109, right below this trend line again. Right, maybe you come back up again. All right, finish this whole thing off. I just, if we're looking at the whole structure, this is starting to get ugly. It really is. So maybe, pardon me. So, I mean, this right here is just, what the heck is that, right? What the heck is that? You didn't make a lower low, so it's almost as if like you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you came down. This is on the micro, right? It's on the micro. You got like a 1, 2. Where's your third wave of this? 3, 4, going up for a fifth, something like that. I just look for deep corrections in the fourth. The fourth is pretty brutal. The second wave is usually drawn out. It usually takes a really long time, but the fourth wave is the most tricky to deal with. A lot of fake outs, a lot of market sentiment that leads most to believe that, you know, the tides have turned and we're in a bear market, and that's what catches people off guard, right? Because you have the awareness, because everyone is in right here is aware that, okay, we just moved up, so a lot of people have gotten in, right? A lot of people got in, more than likely got in, and so what market makers are doing is they're just, oh, we rejected, we're going down. Oh, we rejected, we're going down. You should probably close out your longs, probably close out your longs, probably close out your longs, right? And so that's just kind of what happens with crypto until there's some regulation. You know, exchanges will do whatever they can to liquidate leverage longs, especially high leverage longs. So we just had a new 4-hour candle open. And okay, well, that's what I got for Bitcoin, right? I mean, this 109 kind of looks ideal for the taking. And with that, right, I mean, actually that's yeah, this 109 area. I'll mark that. It's right below. There we go. Cool. You're getting a cross down below. Not good. That's why you're getting this sell-off right now. So a sell-off going into FOMC. Maybe not the worst thing. Maybe not the worst thing. People are just tired of it, and they're just selling off. They don't believe in it, so it's not the worst thing possible. In terms of the overall, you know, correction, right? Where do we need to get above overall correction? So 111.92, that 0.5 is right, that 109. I like that. So yeah, I think you know, I think this is a good, nice area to target, and then reset, and then start going again. So that's good. What about the overall correction? Okay. Cool. Just got down through the 618, still at that 111.659. Yeah, the 619 really hasn't been something to find support at. So I wouldn't even count that. Just 117 area. You know, it is the 382 of the overall correction. So, you know, where did we find resistance at last time? Boom. We did 115. It's 114, 207. It's right next to the 0.5. I'm going to leave those for now. It depends how. Once we find a low, once I think we have found a low, I don't think we have quite yet. Then I'll adjust to the upside. It's not going to be very much, right? It's not going to be very much. Just overall, just trying to make sure that we have a clear indication of what areas we need. I do actually want to put this up through something up through there like that to make sure. Boom. Right, because if this does get cleared out, I'm going to put a Fibonacci extension on here. Let's just say it's 109. let's say it's 109, or where is it? Where's 109? There you go, something like that. Yeah, I think 109 could be a solid spot. We find some support, and so I mean, if best case scenario would be right around through here. This is best case scenario, right at this top, right through here. This top and this bottom, like right below it, right below it. Maybe wick down below, and then find some support right there, and then that'll either way, right? We're playing scenarios that haven't acted out yet, but let's be conservative and say 109. All right, let's be conservative and say 109. So right, that would put prices that we're looking to target up at that 1272, so 126 up to 130. In that 134 area is still pretty prevalent, right? And right before the 2. So overall, right, we're still waiting, and I'll keep tracking this. I'll update this maybe next week. I don't cover Bitcoin very often, but overall, Bitcoin is we had this scenario where we could have been in a 3-wave move, right? 3-wave move. Now we're definitely in a corrective move. We need 5 now to the downside, and now we run the risk, right, of, I mean, in all honesty, this is turning out to be beautiful. I mean, it really is, because you got this. I mentioned this the other day. You got that. All right, inverse head and shoulders. Just for those that don't know, I'll just end this real quick with this. Right, if this is working out as inverse head and shoulders, we'll mark this out as like right there. Do we have anything? We'll do it right there. So 11%. We'll do 11%. After here. That's right at 128. That's right at 128. So, it is looking like right around through here. What did this close down at? 110, 109, 110. It did wick down pretty low, but overall closing, right? We want to stay above 109 for sure. So that'd be ideal. So, hey, if you like today's video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe for more. It really helps out the channel. It's free for you. Helps out a ton, like I've said. I've always appreciated your time. I thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.